It's 1861. My name is Joe. Me and my sister are both slaves at Mr. Whipcotton's plantation. My sister tends to his house while I work in the field. My sister always tells me every day how they're talking about the war with his associates, or Mr. Whipcotton is with his associates. But I'm gonna use the war to my advantage, so I'm gonna make a run for it the chance I get. But I know I need help, so I asked my sister if I could borrow some supplies. Like dried meat, some water, but she can only spare me what she has, and she doesn't spare me much though. So I know I need more supplies and I need more help, so I asked Mrs. Whipcotton. She's an abolitionist though. She doesn't act like it in front of her husband. She doesn't want to get him mad. So she just gives me some dried fruit and another water canteen and sends me on my way later that night. So I start heading through the swamps, heading north. I see many things I don't want to touch. Some things that terrify me to this day still. Trust me, scary stuff. So as I keep heading, my feet get muddy or swampy, whatever you want to call it. But later that night, as it gets darker and darker, I hear slave hunters approaching. I drop to the floor, terrified. I hear more people, slaves this time, running in terror. I stayed there on the floor all night. Later that night, I must have fell asleep because I was so terrified. Thank God they didn't find me, though. If I did, I would have been panicking. But when I woke up, alligator must have stuck me for a log. Thank God. But when I got the chance, I ran for it. I ran so fast, no horse in the cavalry could have kept up with me. None of them. I ran so far north, the dust trail was behind me. But when I finally stopped, I was starving. So I ate some of the supplies I had, etc., 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 dried fruit, etc. But when I heard gunshots, I heard cannon fire. And when I heard that, I got closer because I wanted to know what was happening. Before I realized it, I was on the outskirts of a battlefield. And before long, I heard shots hitting the trees next to me. I got scared, so I ducked and ran. As I head north, I found snow. I head up a trail, and it led me to a cabin. But it was still too far away to make out what it was exactly. So I kept heading up the trail to see what it was, and eventually I was right. It was a cabin. The cabin looked normal on the outside, but I didn't want to take a risk with some crazy hunter on the inside with a musket ready to shoot at me or something. So I called out a couple of times to make sure there wasn't an animal or a human in it. Once I entered, the cabin was really messy. Trust me, there was notes, documents, doctor supplies, utensils, food on the floor, blankets everywhere. It was pretty messy, trust me. A sight that you did not want to see. I found a man sleeping. His name was Mr. Herbert. He was a strange fellow, a doctor, good one, but strange all overall. He was really weird, trust me. Don't want to talk to him, but he's a good guy when it comes to medicine. So, I tell him my story and he decides to help me out. So later that day, he gets a cabin from the town nearby, and he rides up north with me. He's only going to drop me off because he has work in America still. I wish him the best, but I really don't want to see him ever again. It's nothing personal. When I see the border of Canada, it's beautiful. The mountains are tall, the forests are green, and the water is freezing. But I'm happy when I get to Canada because I know a new life is starting. When I get to Canada, I say, I'm free!